Hey guys, welcome to Dialed In. My name is Anthony, and you can find me on YouTube at Pittsburgh. I got my co-host with me, Michael. How you doing, brother?
Good, doing great. Michael, you can catch me on Huddle Card. Big John.
Hey, happy birthday, Big John.
Happy birthday, Big John. Happy
That is
birthday.
the running joke over here. It's always Big John's birthday every single week. So if you see him in any chat, tell Big John happy birthday.
That's right.
We're excited to have everybody join us for the inaugural episode of Dialed In. This is a NFL football podcast where we talk about football, we battle against AIs, and we just kind of hang out. And the cool thing about this is anybody can dial in. It's very interactive. And the cool thing is if you have a YouTube channel or some type of social media following, you can also get dialed in stream there as well. If you'll notice right now, we are streaming simultaneously, not only to Pittsburgh on YouTube, but we're also streaming the Huddle card collection on YouTube as well.
Yep.
So welcome, guys. Regardless of where you're at, we're glad you joined us. Big shout out to, again, Big John. We got Matty Ice Cards in the house. What's up, brother? Good to see you. If anybody does want to join us, feel free to click the link down below and you can jump in at any time. If you don't want to be on camera, there's options to not use camera as well. But we're going to be talking some football. And as always, I want to talk Pittsburgh Steelers. Michael, what do you think the Steelers' chances of having the number one defense in the NFL this year are? They've made some key additions. They did trade Minkah Fitzpatrick, who's kind of been underperforming, for basically Jalen Ramsey. So, who was one of the best at one point. I mean, he is a little older now. They also drafted Derek Harmon in the first round, who is looking like a stud in camp. It's not often the Steelers start a rookie, but he's actually been given the start from day one. So I think those are a couple key additions that might make a difference for them this year. What are you thinking?
I think it's going to come down to what they do with TJ. With him and his contract situation and stuff like that. I mean,
they actually paid him. I'm pretty sure they just paid him last week or the week before.
Oh, they did? Oh,
he is now the richest non-quarterback in NFL history.
Oh, okay. Well, then with him getting paid, I mean, they have an excellent chance. They have him. They got the backside also with Ramsey. I mean, people would say what he wanted to say. I mean, he is right there. The other defensive players they have, they got Hayward's gonna, do his thing, clogging up, the line and stuff. It's just, I don't know. It's somehow whoever goes there just gets that Mean Joe Green, Jack Ham, friggin', Jack Tatum, and they just get that DNA somehow, and they just, are amazing on the defensive side. I mean, they're going to be an interesting football team. What's up, Sean?
Sean.
From the offensive side too. I know a lot of people are making fun of the quarterback. I think they're short-sighted because if you look at what he did towards the end of the season with the Jets, he was really, really good.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to realize, an older guy coming back from that injury, it took him, 10, 11 games to go ahead and get, in the groove and stuff like that, and with getting Metcalf, you lost Najee Harris, which I'm not sure. I'm not sure how that affects the team, to be honest with you. You got Frymouth, but then you also went ahead and
Jonnu Smith.
I was going to say, you just went ahead and got Jonnu Smith also. So you got to be figuring, double tight end, one running back. They keep number 8. Well, I don't know what number he's going to be. I'm guessing he's going to go at number 8.
He's number 8 right now.
Yeah.
And they actually did draft a running back this year too, in third round, named Caleb Johnson. He looks like he's going to be pretty decent. I don't know if he's going to be in Najee's caliber or not. But what's up, Paul? Good to see you, bro.
Holy
Guy Gate City in the house. Always a pleasure to see you, Paul. But yeah, I'm excited for it. And honestly, the main reason I'm excited for Rodgers is because of Will Howard. Just I think him being able to like teach Will Howard gives us a good chance of actually being able to develop Will Howard.
Yep.
Just being able to see like when Rodgers left, how Jordan Love kind of was able to step in and kind of take over. Kind of hoping something similar can be done with Howard. Now I know Love was drafted a lot higher than Howard was, but Howard's looked excellent in camp thus far. So pretty pumped about that.
Yeah, I will say, I didn't think they would go for Sanders if he was available. The one I am surprised that they didn't try and go for Milroe. Will they miss Minka?
You know what? It really depends on if somebody can fill that hole at safety. I know that Ramsey can play a little bit of safety as well, but I think they're going to primarily use him at corner. They did just sign a guy from Baltimore to play safety. I don't know if he's going to start or not. I think he might have started for Baltimore last year. Can't remember what his name was. So they have options, but I mean, you always miss a player like Minka. But for the past 2 years, Minka really hasn't been like Pro Bowl Minka, like make all the money he should, was making type money Minka. He's been, just average. I think he might have been like the 58th best player at his position last year, which is like crazy to think about when he's making as much money as he was as a safety. So
yeah. Well, you got Darius Slay as your one corner. Right now, Ramsey is looked at as the nickelback.
It's crazy, yeah. And then Joey Porter on top of it. It's like for the first time, the Steelers are sitting pretty at corner.
Yeah, so it's good. I mean, you got Patrick Queen, Highsmith. I mean, it's gonna be good. I mean, offensively. You got good offense. The offensive line is going to be the big thing. They go ahead and they get some good play out of their offensive line. A lot of stuff can, a lot of good stuff can happen. The problem you have, one of the things you have is it's a hell of a division to be in.
Yeah. Paul says he predicts the Raiders won't be good this year, maybe 500. This is a good year to not be good, Paul, because you got a bunch of good quarterbacks coming out next year. So, even if they are bad, maybe you end up with like, one of the top 3 or 4 good quarterbacks, and then you're basically set up to be good again. That's kind of what I'm hoping for the Steelers. If they suck, then they end up with one of like the top 3 to 4 quarterbacks.
Yeah, but what are the chances that they are one of the 5 worst teams in the NFL?
I mean, it's possible. They've been a dysfunctional organization. And if any town's going to have players like kind of living crazy, it'd probably be Vegas. Yeah, that's crazy, though, to hear about Rhino passing away. So many greats have left us just recently, like just the Hulkster, RIP.
That's when, if you pop culture, when you look at pop culture, when you look at sports, when you look at entertainment, that's 6. You had Connie Francis, Ozzy Osbourne, and Chuck Mangione. Then you had Malcolm Jamal Warner, Hulk Hogan, and Rhino.
Yeah.
But Manning's hoping his Colts are terrible. I mean, you don't know. Daniel Jones is not horrible. I'm not saying Daniel Jones is great, but Daniel Jones is not horrible. From that standpoint, so anything is possible there. A lot of it, I think, is going to depend on how Jonathan Taylor does. If he's old Jonathan Taylor, from a couple of years ago, stuff that from that standpoint. Defense got a hell of a defensive line, man. Probably one of the best defensive lines in football, especially when with what they have there. So, again, you don't. I don't know. It's too hard to figure this. The whole draft thing is just you don't know, and I don't mean. I just mean from a standpoint of is that when you look at it, there are fewer and fewer teams whose quarterback play either has a really old person or, oh my gosh, we don't know what the hell we're doing at quarterback, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you went team by team, there are certain teams you can see maybe doing some stuff, but Houston, the Texans. Let's say the Texans went ahead and had, for some strange reason, they had the worst record in the NFL. Are they ready to move off of C.J. Stroud for an Arch Manning if Arch Manning comes out?
I don't think you can on a Stroud.
No, but that's what I'm saying.
Maybe. Even though he was drafted first. I don't know.
Yeah.
It'd be difficult just because Stroud's had like a measured success already.
Yep.
Although to a much lesser degree, so did Justin Fields before the Bears basically said we're going to punt on this guy and go and get Caleb Williams. But then again, like the body of work that Fields put out there compared to what Caleb Williams was potentially able to bring there was like much bigger.
Oh yeah. Yeah. All I'm saying though is that, it's when you when you look at the NFL as a whole, right? If we were to go team by team, I mean, I guess you'd have to say if you had the worst record and it is Arch Manning, and I don't know how Arch Manning's going to do. I mean, a lot is going to be, let's see how he handles this year, right? I mean, his grandfather, his two uncles.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. The pedigree is there. I would lean more towards he'll be successful than he won't be successful.
Yeah.
But we'll see. We'll see. It's going to be very interesting how some of this stuff plays out. Looking forward to some camps and seeing what happens with some of these guys.
Heck yeah. Do you think any of these young quarterbacks are going to become busts this year?
I mean, I think the only one who's gonna play is Cam Ward.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I don't think Jackson Dart will play yet. Cam Ward playing for Tennessee. What is Tennessee?
The second year guys? Think any of the guys who might have had a chance and are coming into it might bust this year? Because rookies normally get a little bit of a pass. Even Peyton Manning sucked his rookie year.
Yeah, I mean, I could see some of them struggling a little bit. It wouldn't surprise me, if a Drake May or a Bo Nix, I really wouldn't surprise me if they struggled a little bit as teams now have, a full year's worth of tape on them and stuff like that, and more time to prepare. But from that standpoint, I mean, I don't know. It's just like the ones that didn't even if you look at some other young guys, Bryce Young with Carolina, where's he going to go? Right. Like, how's he going to, he was a starter, then he got benched, then he got brought back. And, now he's a third-year player and stuff like that. So I'm not sure. What do you think about the quarterbacks?
I mean, I think there's some that are going to take a step forward, but there's some that I'm like a little concerned with, like Bryce Young being one of them. If he doesn't deliver this year, like I could totally see them moving on and grabbing a quarterback with, like I said, this being such a heavy draft class with quarterbacks. I could totally see, a lot of teams being ready to kind of move on even a little more premature than they normally would, just based on the fact that they could take another stab at a guy. What's up, Kenneth? Good to see you, man.
Kenneth? Well, I think so before we go, so I look at it from the standpoint of is so Caleb Williams. I don't know what we could expect. Another, here he is. He learned a new system last year. He got rid of everybody, right? Brand new system again.
Yep.
So if he were to regress a little, you could kind of sort of go, well, it kind of makes a little bit of sense, right? Because, the changes and everything. JJ McCarthy, he's one. I mean, he's really a first year guy, even though, he's second year in the NFL. He's really a first year guy. So to me, you treat him more like you would treat Cam Ward or some of the guys that, are in this draft. Even though he went through a training camp and stuff like that type of thing. The one that I find interesting is Jaden Daniels. That's going to be I don't know about him. I'm not saying he's not, but I just don't know. Like I can't, to me, from that standpoint. And Michael Penix, I think, is the one guy who I think can really elevate next year and not take a step back, because he started after, they pulled Cousins and put him in. He was the 8th pick. But I think I could see him going ahead and actually, progressing a little more. So from that standpoint.
Yeah, I can totally see that. Sean said, how about Shador telling his dad not to come to spring training? I don't blame him. I feel like a lot of his draft stock was really hurt by, stuff that his dad said. And, it just goes to show a guy that was talked about as a first round pick, falling all the way to the 5th. That's like unheard of. But
and I mean, the NFL, if you're not getting the reps and stuff, it's tough. And in practice, they it's Cleveland, and you draft the quarterback in Gillen Gabriel, and then you draft then you draft Shador. Now there are a lot of people who said that if Dylan Gabriel was like 3 inches taller, he's probably first or second round, maybe even a first round pick. He has that kind of talent, but he's like 5'11", and for some reason, they think there's an issue with that. I think it's a great idea to tell his father to stay away. Why? Because what are you going to do, Dion? You're going to go there and you're going to stand on the sidelines, and you think about it, like every little gesture, people are going to be wondering, "Oh, was he signaling something to Shador?" Oh, when he touches his hat with his right hand. Oh, when he touches his hat with his left hand. You know what I'm saying? Like, it would have been a lot.
For sure.
Yeah, they have 5 quarterbacks.
Yeah, believe it or not, I'm actually pulling for Kenny Pickett out of all them quarterbacks to actually get a shot. I'd like to see Kenny actually get a chance to be a serviceable NFL quarterback. I don't feel like he really got the chance that he deserved here in Pittsburgh, and there wasn't really a whole lot around him either.
Tough situation. Local kid, went to college locally, was good enough in college. Probably, should not have been a first round pick, but he was. And when you're a hometown kid, local kid, and you get picked in the first round,
yep,
kind of hard to not have the pressure on you.
For sure.
Kind of difficult. So, but I know there's some interesting things, to look at. Matthew Stafford. That's you talk about like the Rams and stuff like that. You talk about the quarterbacks that are coming out. What are they going to do? What are they? What are they looking at? Going forward. They don't have anybody. There was they were another team that was surprising that they didn't take a flyer on some of these young kids.
Yeah,
You know?
True. Be interesting to see what happens there.
Yeah.
I still think he has a lot left in the tank, but it's just a matter of putting the talent around him. Like whenever they won, they had tons of talent there in LA that year. Like that defense was like insane. They had tons of offensive weapons.
Well, he has Puka and he has Devontae Adams,
Mm-hmm.
and he has Tutu Atwell as
Mm-hmm.
his 3 wide receivers. That's that's pretty decent.
Yeah.
They had a couple of rookies step up on defense, Byron Young, and I forgot who the other guy was that stepped up. I think it was that Fisk kid, who stepped up on defense last year. So we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Any word on how Justin Fields has been doing in Jets camp? I know he had some kind of an injury.
Yeah. So the injury was nothing really. I think somebody either fell on his toe or stepped on his toe. They made it sound as though like it was, oh my gosh, it is, it was one of those things, where it was, they made Mount Everest out of this molehill. I mean, it was ridiculous when you listen to some of the reports, everything being said, I mean, there is nothing but a whole bunch of positivity coming out from Jets camp.
That's awesome.
RPOs look like RPOs, which you finally have a quarterback that can run the RPO. And the Jets, the last couple of years, even when Wilson was there before they moved on from him and went to Rodgers, I mean, neither one of those two guys, were RPO guys. So they're saying that looks good. The big thing for the Jets, was extending Garrett Wilson and Sauce Gardner.
Yeah.
Because what a lot of people don't realize is that Quinnen Williams, and I forgot what year he was drafted. Let me see if I can look real quick. But Quinnen Williams, he was drafted in 2019. So if you look at the Jets' first round picks for like the 10 years before that, he was the first one to sign a second contract with the Jets.
Wow.
First round pick. He was the first round pick to sign a second contract with the Jets. So that was big. Wilson and Sauce, another one and everything. I mean, I don't know. Kind of like with Maddie, it's hard for me to root for my team to suck.
Mm-hmm.
Right? But then there's a part of me that says, look, football gods. If you already have the season played out, if the football gods already have the season played out, they know every stat, every game, all the way to the end. If the green and white New York Jets are not the guys holding up the Lombardi trophy, then let us go 1-16 and get the first pick. I mean, and that's what I mean. From that standpoint, it's like I think it's going to be. I think again, not knowing who will have worse records than the Jets, but I could see it working out somehow where at like the end of the season, they have, 3 wins and they're sitting there with the second pick and they win the last 2 games to get the 5 wins. And somehow that moves us from the second pick to the 7th pick and all the good quarterbacks go before we get a shot. I mean, that's typically the way it'll work.
Yep.
Yep.
Just like the Steelers, they'll probably go like 10-7.
Yeah.
Break my heart all over again. Losing the first round of the playoffs.
Yeah. They'll go 10-7. They'll go 9-8. And they'll be picking, 16th, 15, 16, and stuff like that. So I don't know. The Jets, we know we have that whole new regime. I don't know Manning won't leave Austin for 2 years. Well, I mean, this is where NIL has changed things, right? Because think about it, right? He can play the whole college season, see how the NFL is going. I would believe the season is over before he would have to declare for the draft. So if he looks and he sees, see, Indianapolis would be a bad thing because his uncle played there. Like, where would he not want to play? Let's say Cleveland. If Cleveland had the first overall pick, he could go, you know what? I like Austin, Texas. I'm making $3, $4, whatever, $5 million a year anyway. It ain't like, I mean, even if he was one of those kids, that was a hardship, kid and everything, coming up poor and, all that old kind of stuff. Obviously he's not, but he could sit there now and go, you know what? I'll take the $3 million. I'll take another shot at staying in Austin and see what happens the following year. That's what NIL has done with these kids now.
I like that NIL has given them a chance to actually want to stay and finish their education. But it's also like crazy to think of like some of these like women that play college sports, how much they make NIL versus like if they get drafted to the WNBA. It's like a fraction of what they make in college for to play in WNBA. I think it's like 70 grand a year, 77 grand, something like that.
Yeah.
It's wild.
Yeah, but Anthony, then you look at the flip side. Look what happened with Tennessee with the quarterback there. Hey, I'm only making $2 million a year. I think I should make 3 or 4. I want to renegotiate my NIL deal. Yeah, okay, you're done. You're off the football. I mean, now Tennessee, they dug their heels and it was like, yeah, no, not going to happen. That's the only part that I don't like is that if the school's going to make a commitment to pay you, it should be a contract. Now you should say, hey, you know what? You're signing a 4-year contract. You can leave after 3 years, as you could if you were going to the NFL. But freshman year, sophomore year, no, sorry. You can't go ahead and you can't say, hey, you know what? I actually would like to renegotiate my deal. Oh, you don't want me? Okay, I'm going to enter the transfer portal, and then I'm going to see who's going to pay me the most money, and I'll go and I'll play there. That's the only part that I don't like it. If we are treating it as, they are getting paid that money, we should treat it like a contract, and it should be a 3-year contract with an option for like a player option for the 4th year, right? They can stay for the 4th year if they want, or they can leave to go to the NFL or to go to another school rather than this, I'm going to just go ahead and, like the quarterback from, I think it was either Las Vegas or from, either Nevada, University of Nevada or UNLV, like a few games into the season, the quarterback was like, yeah, my NIL deal, there's the discrepancies in it. They won't fix it. I'm done. I'm leaving. And he left the team.
Yep. Well, I think it's that time in the podcast where the two of us go head to head versus ChatGPT to see if our brains can somehow come up with a team that can compete with what AI says is the greatest football team that has ever been amassed. Now, for Michael and I to be able to do this, we're going to need some help from you guys in the chat. So feel free to throw out some names, give us some tips, and help us with this. If anybody wants to dial in, again, the link is pinned. Feel free to call in at any time. But without further ado, let's take a look at what AI has for us today, guys. So the team that they've put together at quarterback is Tom Brady. Running back, they've got Jim Brown. Wide receiver, they're picking Jerry Rice. Tight end, they got Rob Gronkowski. At tackle, they have Jonathan Ogden. Gross. That's a Baltimore Raven. Blech. Ugh. Yuck. At guard, they have Larry Allen, who played for the Cowboys. I can get down with their center choice. They got Mike Webster, who, it is probably the greatest center of all time, in my opinion. At kicker, they have Adam Vinatieri. At punter, shout out to Paul, they have Ray Guy from his Raiders. Their number one coach is Bill Belichick. They've picked Devin Hester at kick return. Troy Polamalu at strong safety. Again, another one I can get down with. At free safety, they have Ed Reed, another Raven. Cornerback, they got Deion Sanders, who also at one point played for the Ravens. At middle linebacker, they got Ray Lewis, who is Mr. Raven. Then they got Lawrence Timmons, Lawrence Timmons from the Steelers. Lawrence Taylor from the Giants at outside linebacker. Aaron Donald from the Rams and the Pitt Panthers. Going to say, and also Penn Hills Indians before that here in Pittsburgh at defensive tackle. And then they got the Minister of Defense at defensive end, Reggie White. So that's what we're looking to beat, guys. So we're going to definitely need some help with this. Quarterback. There's a lot of different options we can go there. You could go with Tom Brady's childhood idol in Joe Montana. You could go with Tom Brady's kryptonite in Eli Manning. You could go for Tom Brady's running partner in Peyton Manning. Like, you can go for potentially the next Tom Brady in Patrick Mahomes. Like, where do we go with this quarterback situation, Michael? What's your take on that?
Well, first, hey Brandon, how you doing?
Brandon, see you, brother.
Yeah, I mean, I don't care for the quarterback that AI has generated. I could not vote for that person. So Joe Montana was one of the names that I thought of that came to me first. From that standpoint,
the original GOAT at quarterback.
I always think of the original TB12, but that's beside the point.
Yeah, Terry Bradshaw.
But another guy, probably who wouldn't be a bad choice either, Dan Marino, even though, and him even being a Dolphin, but it's just, I have more of a dislike for, actually, I'm just going to start doing it like I do everything. I'm just going to start going, from the football team from Massachusetts than I do from, the Miami Dolphins. But Joe Montana, I think, he would be a guy that I think would work there, from that standpoint.
Sean also
got to work our way through. Just
Big John said Brian Urlacher at middle linebacker. It's a good one to go up against Ray Lewis. Those are basically the two best middle linebackers of that era, I think.
I think you might go with the original monster of the Midway, Dick Butkus.
Oh, Dick Butkus is a good one too.
From a middle linebacker perspective. I think he was a middle linebacker at least.
I believe he was.
Yeah. Running back. Let's go there. So for running back, yeah. I mean, I could, Walter Payton, Barry Sanders. I mean, I think, if Barry, even though, Emmett Smith wound up going ahead and passing, Jim Brown, I just think, I think people would have looked at Barry, in my perspective, a little different. But Barry or Walter Payton, those were, when you sent the list, those were, a couple other guys that I could potentially see, being there. But my gosh, you can't, again, Jim Brown retired early also.
Yep.
Right. I mean, what if he would have stayed around a few more years? What would have happened? We're not at defense yet, for crying out loud, Sean.
JJ Watt's a good one, though.
We don't have fullback.
Alstott would be a great fullback. Yeah, it didn't include fullback because I guess fullback's not like a traditional position in the modern NFL. But yeah, I would say Alstott's one of the best to pretty much do it at fullback.
For sure. For sure.
Honestly, if there was fullback, I would have cheated and fit Jerome Bettis in there somewhere.
Oh, gosh. Wide receiver.
First name comes to my mind is like Randy Moss.
I thought Randy Moss. I tell you another guy that probably doesn't get the credit he should. Chris Carter.
Chris Carter is a underrated. Probably because did he ever win a championship?
I don't think so.
But yeah, I mean, you even got guys like Kelvin Johnson.
Well, that's what I'm saying. And you go back further. You go Lynn Swann. You go Don Maynard. I mean, you go back even, you know what I'm saying, even a little further and stuff like that. And from that standpoint, when the game was, was a little different and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I mean, some of these guys are going to put up stupid numbers with the way the rules have changed. From that standpoint, but. I mean, it's really hard to move off of Jerry Rice especially when he's looked at as, I mean, not only the greatest, wide receiver, he's looked at one of the greatest football players ever.
For sure.
So you kind of hard to go, yeah, no, that guy doesn't deserve to be there. It's, from that standpoint.
For sure. And you figure tight end's a tough one too, because there's so many good players, and then they're going up against Gronk, who is like Brady's tight end, who has multiple championships and with multiple teams. So like that right there is kind of hard to come against. I'd say like really the only one that even comes close to that, it might be Kelsey as far as the championships. Although I think Gronk might still have more than Kelsey.
I mean, Gronk should have what, 5 or 6? So he definitely will.
I don't think he was a part of the early teams.
But he got the one with Tampa.
Yeah. But I don't know if he was drafted till like 2010 or 2009 or something like that. Like,
so the other couple names that I thought of were Antonio Gates.
Gates would be a great one.
If you go way back, Raymond Berry, which a lot of people probably, unless you're a Colts fan, you probably not know him. Tony Gonzalez. I mean, Tony, pretty darn good player. From that standpoint.
Now, if only there's a way we can generate these teams to actually face off against each other, that would be awesome.
That would be.
I have to figure that out for next week. Is to actually
probably. You know what you would need to do? I'll bet you there's some kind of I bet you somebody wrote some kind of game where it's like, that there's no graphics to it or anything.
Yeah.
But it's like you put in players' names and stuff and they play against each other, from that standpoint.
It would be kind of cool to see like what the accumulated team would do against each other.
Yep.
Don't use any Cowboys or unsubscribe. I feel about the Ravens.
Fortunately, we got. I mean, from the offensive line perspective, Jonathan Ogden and Larry Allen, man, and even Mike Webster. Like, I'm not sure.
So I was always a big fan of the linemen, so I could probably be really helpful in this category. Like I'm thinking Anthony Munoz right off the rip from the Cincinnati Bengals. I think who else?
Again, it depends on how far.
Joe Thomas, he was one of my favorites, even though he played for the freaking Browns.
Yeah,
that he played for the Browns.
Munoz is really Orlando Pace.
Yep.
He was another guy. It's kind of hard because there are, like, I'm looking right now and it's like another name that it's like, oh crap, but Walter Johnson from Seattle, or Bruce Matthews from the Oilers, or Hannah from the football team from from Massachusetts. I mean, it's just the left tackle from San Francisco.
Is that Williams? The Trent Williams?
Trent Williams is another, but I mean, Trent Williams is a current guy. None of these guys are coming up as current, so I don't know.
Kreutz is good too. He played for the Bears, I believe. Was he a center?
I don't know. If you do all-time offensive linemen, they group everybody together because they have Mike Webster at 9, but I think he's like the only center that's on this list. It's a tough one, from that standpoint, because there are guys, when you think about it, they really weren't talked about that much.
One of my favorites I just thought of, Bruce Matthews.
Yeah.
He used to play for the Oilers back in the day. That dude was awesome. And what's his name for the Chiefs? Will Shields. He was like a perennial Pro Bowler back in the day. Center. Was the center? You're right.
Then you got Webster. You do have.
I can think of a guy that used to play in your team that might be good for this.
Nick Mangold.
I didn't even think of Mangold. I was thinking all the way back to Kevin Mawai. Remember that dude?
Yeah, I mean both of those. I mean, definitely both. Kevin Mawai for sure. Nick Mangold, Robert Brazelli.
I mean, I could say Dermontti Dawson, but he's not as good as Mike Webster. He's like the second best Steelers center.
Jason Kelce. What about Jason Kelce?
Jason Kelce, that's a really good one.
Jeff Saturday.
So who's the best out of Saturday, Kelce, and Otto?
Jim Otto.
Yeah, that makes sense.
that one's kind of simple. Jim Otto is definitely, yeah.
Do we get points for Kelce being voted the sexiest man alive? So kickers. Man. Not too sexy of a position. I mean, you got guys like Tucker currently. One that I always used to like growing up was Morton. I like the Andersons. I like Morton Anderson and Gary Anderson. Those guys.
Yeah, yeah. George Blanda. You never really knew about him, too much. Yep, yeah. Mike Webster did go ahead and hurt his brain way too much.
100%. I think he wasn't he one of the first guys with CTE?
I think he was one of the first ones that was definitely what do you call it? Janikowski.
I remember him. He was huge. He was like a linebacker playing kicker.
And from Florida State. I think the Raiders drafted him in the first round.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember people were like, "You're drafting a kicker in the first round," and then dude ended up being like a beast.
Yeah.
Let's see. Punter.
Dave Roby.
Now, Pat McAfee was a punter. I don't know that he was like best of all time punter.
No, I mean Reggie Roby, not Dave Roby. Dave Roby was the guy that I used to work for. Reggie Roby.
Reggie Roby. Shout out to Dave though.
Reggie Roby.
Was he a punter?
Yeah. He was for the what? Crap. Was he for the Dolphins? Or was he for the Redskins?
I don't know. How about Shane Leckler? He was pretty good. He played for the I think Raiders.
The Raiders.
Shout out to Gate City.
Yep.
It's one of his guys. Heck, him and Janikowski might have played together for all I know.
They did, I think, for a little bit.
That's one hell of a kicking department.
Yep.
Have both those guys together.
Oh, yeah.
So then going into defensive end. So they took Reggie White. Doesn't Bruce Smith lead the NFL in like all-time sacks?
Well, that's it's undisputed. Well, not undisputed. It's really technically it's undetermined because of when they started counting. Because people really talk about
Deacon Jones or whatever.
Yeah, Deacon Jones as being just a monster.
For sure. My guy Dave's in the house. What's up, brother? Parabellum. Jason Elam, yeah, he was pretty good.
For a kicker?
John Randall, both those guys were awesome. I used to love how John Randall had those like it was like the eye black, but it went all the way down his face.
Yeah.
I used to like the big intimidating guys, like the Greg Lloyd type guys. Yeah, those are both great suggestions.
Yeah, I would think, you know, I would think, like I was saying, a Deacon Jones or a Bruce Smith. I mean, John Randall was a good one. What was Joe Green?
He was a D tackle.
Okay.
He'd be an awesome one to go up against Aaron Donald. Deacon. Did I spell Deacon wrong?
I hope not.
D-O-N? No, there's an A in his name, isn't there?
D-E-A, Con.
There we go. We are doing great, brother. Appreciate you joining us.
Thanks, Davey.
And again, anybody who's here, feel free to jump in at any time if you want to give any of your feedback on the season, or if you want to help us pick some players, or feel free to throw them in the chat as well. So yeah, your Joe Green would definitely be a great option here at D tackle. I don't really know if you need another one after Joe Green. Outside linebacker. They picked Lawrence Taylor.
Again, one of the greatest football players to ever play. Kind of hard to really pick anybody after him. The only guy I can think of, and from a outside linebacker perspective is what was it? Who was the guy from Kansas City?
Oh, the one that died? Was that Derek Brooks?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just because of what he did, but I'm not. I'm not. I'm not 100% sure.
By the way, Derek Brooks wasn't he the guy from Tampa? Derek Thomas was the guy from
Tampa. Was Derek Thomas the guy from?
Derek Thomas was the guy from the Chiefs.
Yeah. Okay.
Both of them Dereks are good though.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you can't go wrong. I mean, I always throw Jack Ham out there because he's a Steeler. I throw James Harrison out there because he's a Steeler. But I mean, I don't know that they're in the same league as Lawrence Taylor.
Derek. Yeah, Brooks was Tampa. I don't know if Paulie's still here. Gate City. What was Ted Hendricks? Was Ted Hendricks an inside or an outside? I don't know if Paulie's still here or if anybody in the chat knows. Because Ted Hendricks was a pretty darn good linebacker.
let's see, corners. They got Dion. I mean, I'm kind of a homer, but like I don't know how you don't pick Rod Woodson. Like he's pretty awesome. But then again, so is Charles Woodson.
Well, I'm sorry.
I mean,
Darrelle Revis.
Yeah, Revis Island. You know that we were one pick away from getting Darrelle Revis, but the Jets had to jump us, and you ended up getting Revis Island away from the pick product.
Ronnie Lott wasn't Ronnie Lott a corner, or was he a safety?
He was a safety. I think he was a full safety, if I'm not mistaken, or a free safety. I don't know why I keep calling it a full safety, but that's a good one, Ronnie Lott. Brian Dawkins is pretty good. I think, what was he, a strong safety?
Yeah.
I don't know if he's like all-time great. I mean, I think he's a Hall of Famer. I don't know why I'm drawing blanks on strong safety currently.
I mean, in your safeties positions, I mean, you know, again, when you're looking at Ronnie Lott, Ed Reed, Troy, I mean, and if you threw Dawkins, if you had the four of them on your team, I think that's pretty. I think that's pretty cool. J.J. Watt as defensive tackle.
Was J.J. Watt a defensive tackle? I thought he was a defensive end. I mean, hell, I'll throw him in there, defensive tackle. Hell, let's put J.J. Watt out there because he is definitely probably an all-time good player. And honestly, I wouldn't mind just throwing him out there. Kick returner. They have Hester. First guy I think of is Dante Hall.
Desmond Howard.
Desmond Howard's not bad either. Did he have a decent career outside of like the Super Bowl and stuff?
Is there more of a homer than Sean? JJ Watt anywhere. Just hell, have him play quarterback and just run RPOs all day long.
He probably could. Like, he's good enough. He probably could. You're right. And I like JJ because he's become a Steeler fan in his retirement. Coach. I mean,
I'm going with the guy they named the trophy after.
Yeah, you win. You win.
I'm not saying, you know, I mean, you have what was his name from San Francisco? Oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm drawing a blank.
Schottenheimer? Oh no, Walsh. I was thinking San Diego for a minute there.
You know, Chuck Noll. I mean, you know.
Yeah.
I'm not saying anything about, you know, Bill, but.
So then if we had to cut some players.
Of course you would have said I'm sure you would have said Bum Phillips there, Sean.
Yes. The legendary Bum Phillips. Makes me want to put on a cowboy hat. Like a big fucking one. That's awesome. So yeah. I am going to run this through a generator of some form. Or maybe I'll just ask ChatGPT to have these two teams, if these two teams played, who would win and why. Hopefully they'll be able to help me with that. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this. Next week, we're going to be back with another AI team. I think what we might do is like an all-pro team, which so it would be like the best players currently in the NFL versus whoever we pick. First cut is Roby. I would definitely agree with that because Leckler's pretty good. Roby gone. So I'd be good with getting rid of Will Shields too, just because Bruce Matthews was that dude.
Yep.
I don't know how you guys feel about that.
No, I agree.
Then at tackle, honestly, I'd be good with any of those three. Both of these guys are on teams that suck to me, although they're probably one step above pace to me. But I don't know. I don't know how you guys. They're probably all three equal. What do you guys think at tackle or tight end? I'm good with cutting Chris Carter just because
I would cut Carter. I would actually, man. You know, even though I said Gates, Tony Gonzalez was just different. So I could see going ahead and cutting Gates and cutting Kelsey. Because I don't know really what I mean. I like when you look at tight ends. Where is Kelsey from? I mean, you know, I don't know. But
he's pretty high up all time, and I think one thing that gives Kelsey the edge might be the Super Bowls, just because I think he has 3 of them. So I think he's been a part of every Chiefs Super Bowl that Mahomes has been a part of.
Yeah.
So do we go with Barry or Walter? I mean, neither of them had the longest career. Barry probably finished a little higher on the all-time list, but not by much. It was by like one or two people. Because Barry crossed Walter. He was like, wasn't he the all-time when he retired? Or was he not?
If you do just say, if you
just cross Walter,
huh?
I'm trying to.
So Google's AI says Jim Brown, Walter Payton, Barry Sanders. That's how they have the top 3.
Yeah.
So they had Payton as 2, Sanders as 3.
For me. It feels wrong to cut Barry Sanders.
I know.
It like hurts. Okay, so Joe Thomas or Munoz?
I think Munoz, but I mean, I mean, that's, you know, I mean, I honestly.
Thomas plays for the Browns.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm going to have to cut JJ over Joe Green, unfortunately. And then you said Derek Thomas originally. I accidentally put Brooks.
Yeah.
So we'll go with your guy, Thomas. And Buckus or Urlacher? That's a tough one. Those are like two. If Big John's still in the chat, you might have to break this. You are a Chicago Bear fan. Do you go with Buckus or Urlacher? Who's your guy? And I think I might cut Howard just because Hall had more consistency in his whole career.
Yep.
And then Woodson or Revis. That's tough too because it's like.
So Big John says Urlacher.
All right. Speed matters. You're the man. I'm sorry, Sean. Maybe we can find somewhere for JJ.
Even though Google's AI goes Ray Lewis, Dick Buckus, Jack Lambert, Mike Singletary, and Brian Urlacher.
Singletary's one we forgot about too.
Who?
Singletary, yeah. So you said
he said Urlacher.
The resident Chicago Bears expert has spoken.
Yep. Always got to go with Dick.
All right.
This one, the crowd has to cheer. This one, for defensive end, I'm going Deacon Jones.
Yeah, I would probably go Bruce. So,
all right.
Right off the rip, we're gonna cut John Randall because we both would pick something different.
All right, so chat defensive end, Bruce Smith or Deacon Jones. Now the problem you have is other than maybe, well, nobody in this chat saw Deacon Jones play. All then on replays. But Sean says keep Deacon.
Deacon it is. I mean, yeah, that is definitely something to think about because I was picking Bruce because of the all-time sack leader. But if Deacon basically wasn't statable, he might be the guy to go with.
Yeah.
Okay, so this one you guys are going to have to break too because it's between a Steeler and a Jet.
And I'll say that, I mean, some of you guys, I'll never give you another free card.
we going with Revis Island or we going with Rod Woodson, guys? And it's okay if you pick Revis Island just to keep the free card because he went to Pitt, so I like him too.
No, there's no chance of losing a sub or anything along those lines. No Joe Green. Joe Green's there on the defensive tackle.
Oh, yeah, Joe Green is our D tackle.
Ronnie Lott is our free safety.
Yep.
Is our cornerback, Woodson or Revis? Man, Anthony was quick there getting rid of Woodson. What happened? Is it because Woodson left you?
Well, not only that, but you'd mentioned something about not giving any more free cards, and I've gotten some pretty good free cards from you over the years. So I figured I'd go with the Pitt product. I win either way. So let's see if we can have ChatGPT actually pick us a winner now.
Wow. It's so hard when you look at these, try and do these things, especially, offensive linemen and stuff like that. I mean, come on, let's face it, the truth of the matter is, very few of us paid attention to offensive linemen when we were watching football. You don't really see them, right? You see them for a little bit, and then you're focusing on, who has the ball. Good evening, Johnny. How you doing, buddy? Hope you're doing well.
What's up, brother? Appreciate you being here with us. And again, anyone that wants to jump in and join us, we're going to be wrapping up shortly, but I do want to see if I can get AI to pick this team for us before we call quits. So I am trying to attach this form that we're working on into ChatGPT right now. And if it works, it would be super cool. If it doesn't, then it's Michael's fault.
It's going to be, football this year is going to be interesting. It's going to be, and we'll talk about other stuff. And as always, even from the first show that Anthony and I, did together, the show is just as much about you guys also, so if you have suggestions, topics for us to talk about, please go ahead and let us know. The pinned comments, has the link. So if one of those days you want to go ahead and come on in, go right ahead.
Yep, you guys are welcome anytime. So before we wrap up, we're going to see if ChatGPT can actually get us a winner based on the team that we picked versus the team that they picked.
And away we go.
Yep. Come on, AI. Do what you can do. Analyze this thing. Hopefully it actually does work. Although, what are the odds it says it's us picking? We win. Because honestly, if you ask me, I'm going to be like, we win.
Yeah. And when people come on, if you want to come on and talk about your team, if you want to talk about, the 49ers, John, if you want us to talk about, the skins, let us know, and we Anthony and I can prepare the week before and have some talking points.
That would be awesome, dude.
From that standpoint. But yeah.
And again, like we said earlier in the show, if you guys do want to join at some point, you have channels of your own. Michael and I are streaming currently to both of our channels. We hope to grow this to more than that in the future. So if you guys want to be a part of that, definitely join us.
We want it to be interactive.
Big shout out to Firestarter Breaks. Got our guy John with us. What's up, brother?
What's up? What's up, guys? I did not know you were going this early. I would have been here sooner.
Yeah, no problem, brother. You're here. That's all that matters. Hopefully, we'll get a win. We're still waiting on ChatGPT to analyze this Excel spreadsheet.
ChatGPT's going, man, I'm just a youngster. Who the hell are some of these players you're talking about?
Awesome, brother.
But I think young quarterback. Look, the league is filled with a lot of young quarterbacks. I think the interesting is what's going to be happening as these quarterbacks have gone to new systems. How is Darnold going to do in Seattle? How is what's his name? The guy who left Seattle, Smith. How's he going to do? With the Raiders. Justin Fields going to a new team, Rodgers going to a new team. So it's going to be interesting to see how these things go ahead and flush out. And then unfortunately, when you look at the league as a whole, one team, most teams are one injury from the quarterback away from their season going to crap.
Yep. And ChatGPT is taking forever today to pick a team. I guess it's like hard for him to analyze a Excel sheet.
What's the little drop down arrow?
I don't know. Let's see. I guess code. Python code. Yeah, I don't want to do all that. To load contents. Is it asking me to type that in there?
I don't know. Chad, it's on summer break. Import pandas as PD. What the hell is that?
I have no idea. Confused now. All right. Let me see if I can do it this way.
We'll figure it out.
So is this supposed to tell us who's going to win everything?
Yeah, it's supposed to figure out a winner for us.
From the spreadsheet.
It's failing miserably at its job.
Well, we are.
Oh. Well, that's the same thing that was there.
Oh, I guess this is.
What's up, Matty Ice?
Copy and paste it all in there.
Matty. Tonight's what? Preview night at the National, I think?
I think tomorrow.
Tomorrow?
I think. Or no, yeah, tomorrow. Right. Matty's probably already there.
No,
I think
Matt.
He said he was traveling there.
Yeah, Matt. I think Matt's leaving in the morning. I think he was going Wednesday, Thursday. Are you staying Friday, Matty? Or are you just doing Wednesday, Thursday? Did things change? Are you trying to go to the game? Leave 6 a.m.
He is definitely on a summer break. Leaving at 6.
Man.
All right. So I will share the screen again of the team that we picked. You guys can vote in the chat if you want, like what team you think is better, their team or our team. I'm still going to try to make ChatGPT work, but for some reason it's not right now.
Okay, so he's going to the Natty tomorrow, Thursday. Is tomorrow? So tomorrow's like that half day, right? Isn't Wednesday usually like the half day? Then Friday, Saturday, and Sunday are the full days, I think. We shall see. Going to be interesting. Is Arnie still getting tickets? Arnie has, I think, gone kind of a little bit on a silent side.
I've seen him buy teams in KC's break, but he's never there.
Does Bill and Tom pay off the refs in the battle?
Yeah, on our team.
I saw Arnie. I saw he went ahead and he popped up in Sports Cards Radio's live chat when they came back online like 10 days ago.
Oh, wow.
Okay. So it's finally starting to do stuff. So it's the dialed in team, AI team. So basically gave us both teams, starting to give us some strengths. Verdict, AI beats us. Dang it. Of course it beats us. So they beat us because Tom Brady has the edge at quarterback. It says his sustained dominance outshines Montana's perfection. It says more versatile defense. Donald, Lawrence Taylor, Reggie White, Reed, and Sanders are more dynamic. Special teams, game changers, basically Hester and Ray Guy, field position nightmare. And Coach Belichick is modern.
Oh, crap. Bill Belichick is not modern and adaptable. What kind of crap is that?
Yeah. Well, I mean, his girlfriend's modern and adaptable.
That's about the only thing that's modern and adaptable about that guy. There's no way. Fixed. I'm calling that. This is worse than Deflategate.
Exactly. So we are officially 0-1. Will we have a better record this season, or will the New York Jets have a better record this season, Michael?
I think we'll have a better record.
Yep.
I don't think Jet. We gotta find another. We gotta find a different AI. Damn it!
Yeah, we gotta find like a competitor AI that just says ChatGPT sucks. It picks against them. But yeah, I mean that was pretty cool that it actually picked a winner.
Yeah.
So I just have to remember next time, don't put the file in. If I just copy and paste it, works way better. So yeah. Hope you guys.
Funny, it says, would you like this broken down into a debatable style post or podcast segment outline?
There you go.
That would have been helpful about an hour and 15 minutes.
Hey, it's our first show.
But hey, give us an idea for next week. Well, yeah, this has been fun. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Hopefully you guys in the chat enjoyed this. Do me a favor, share this with somebody that you know likes football. Would love to get this conversation growing, and maybe next week we have more channels that we're streaming to and connecting with more people, and hopefully next week we will kick ChatGPT's butt. But this week we're losers. But they had a lot of Steelers on there, so I don't feel as bad.
Look, this is preseason. We haven't even started the season yet.
What do you think of Jane Daniels this year, Beast?
I think he's going to pick up where he left off. Mm-hmm. I know we're going to end up signing Terry. That's just going to be a fact for how much is going to be the question. You can't go without having him.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
unless
you're
they
right.
want to send him to Pittsburgh. But other than that, yes, I'm the guy. But yeah,
I mean, yeah. They signed Von Miller. Now I don't know what Von Miller has left in the tank. They got him. Was Bobby Wagner there last year? John?
Yeah, he was.
That middle linebacker.
We signed him. Yeah, he's still there. We picked up Debo.
Yep.
Which will be good for the other side for Daniels.
for sure.
They got that Frankie Lavolo kid. Man, I like him. I like that kid a lot. He's a good player.
Do you guys have anything new or exciting coming up on your channels anytime soon?
I don't.
Tomorrow night, SummerSlam prediction night. Got SummerSlam coming up and everything. Yeah, so we got that coming up and everything. That'll be on Huddle. So come on, join us tomorrow night.
That's right, I'll be there.
You want to plug your channel too, John?
I don't. Then you go to Firestarter Breaks. There's not much there except for stuff I've done for Brandon. But
Dude, there's a whole lot of handsome there. Don't you lie.
I've been doing it in a long time. Just kind of not much out there to do. Affordable wise.
Yeah.
You got that right. So
I appreciate you boys being a part of the inaugural episode. Hopefully we'll be able to grow this as the season goes on. And yeah, if you guys would, make sure you go and subscribe to these two guys and also to me if you haven't, because we put out content all the time, and we just really, more so than the idea of doing the content, we enjoy spending time with you guys and building community. One thing Michael says all the time is the term card immunity. We're all cardaholics and we like hanging out with each other. So if you are like-minded, hit that subscribe button and come along for a journey. And don't be afraid to jump in the chat and, give your opinion, or, people are here. They're real people and they care. So
yeah,
appreciate you guys being here with us. Until next week.
Thank you. See you next week, fellas and ladies and gentlemen.